It's time for Type 40 Live, the live stream Doctor Who magazine show at Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook. That's where you'll find us covering, celebrating, and now and again we'll be commiserating about all things Doctor Who from right the way back then to the right here and the right now, all in front of a live chat full of fellow friends, fans, and companions just like you. And David Tennant, speaking up, really? No, not really. Well, sort of. We're going to cover that in a little while. There's that to when is a fan show, not a fan show. And we'll be traversing the dimensions to hit the other big three up here, right from the console room on Type 40 Live. And here we are in gorgeous black and white. No less to welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Big Who for your Thursday here with me, Dan Hadley, Birmingham's King of the Geeks, and whoever you are there on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook. We've got lots coming up for you to comment on. No breaking news this time, just lots of things to catch up on from across the Whoniverse. You can fill us in with your views about all of that. And, of course, whatever you've been up to in between, as well as the summer works its way to a conclusion. Went quickly, didn't it? Went quickly. And already the weather has started to turn. So that'll be one more thing for us to complain about here at Type 40 Live. Okay, so lots of room, precious little in the way of soft furnishings. Let's warm things up by bringing in some of the panel. First of all, happy to welcome our Charlotte Shields back, as ever.
Hello, everybody. I know it feels weird that I'm going back to work next week, and it's like, where's the summer holidays gone? My parents were like, does it feel like you've had 6 weeks? I'm like, no, it really doesn't.
Blink. And you've packed lots in, though, haven't you? And you've been here and there and all over the place and had a rare old time.
Yeah, I've had my little travels, which is what I want to do, little trips to places. And then I've got stuff near Christmas. Is my next bit that I'm really looking forward to now.
I do worry that sometimes we all sort of watch the calendar and watch the clock a little too much and kind of wish the weeks and months away until the next time we can sort of blow off a bit of steam and everybody can sort of get together. But it's easier said than done, isn't it, when you tell people to enjoy every day and every week and every moment.
I think it's healthy to look forward to stuff. Like I said, as long as you're not literally trying to get your days to go to get to that point. I think, like I said, you just need that balance, which is what you need to get.
Things have gone really quite quiet, tranquil in the Huniverse, haven't they? This week.
Yeah, I feel like after all the noise last week, which wasn't really news, but it felt like news, that now we've gone back to this sort of we don't know what's happening, so it's gone quiet stage, which is, I think we're going to be there for a while now, sadly.
We could well be. Fortunately for us, there's always plenty to talk about if you know where to look and what to dig into. News that isn't quite news, and a TARDIS console room that isn't actually a TARDIS console room. We'll come into that and to why in a moment or two. Next up, I'm happy to welcome back David Milling into bat.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yes, hello. When it's a TARDIS room, not a TARDIS room. When it's a jar, I don't know. There you go. That must have left me by a little bit. But no.
Well, I just want to congratulate you on reenacting the William Shatner meme every time you come in there. That's really good.
Oh, I love it. I actually, talking on the subject of William Shatner, I moved my daughter into her first university flat over the weekend, and following a few days, and she made a joke about the fact that the restaurant that she works in part-time, that she has a really annoying person called Khan. And of course, I went, Khan! Like that.
Oh,
and she had no idea what I was on about. So I had to play the clip off YouTube. So she then goes, I might actually start doing that. I said, well, just be careful. And it's also very good because I've renewed her and my membership to Notts County Cricket Club for next season. So, and they've frozen the prices for the second year in a row. Can you believe it? So, what wonderful cricket you can get for £184.
So it's not all bad news then, David.
No, it's wonderful news. Wonderful news. And no David Tennant. So that's great.
Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to have to burst your bubble on the Tennant later on. He is coming. So if you want to shout at Tennant Khan style later, we'll leave you a bit of a gap so you can do that and we can hear it echoing around this console room that isn't really a console room. Speaking of Tennant, someone's come tenanted up. Ooh. Who do you think that's going to be? It's got to be the chief hooligan, hasn't it? It's Luke from Cinescope. Hi, mate.
Yeah, it's literally the first. I literally just got in and showered, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just find a t-shirt," and it happened to be right next to my laptop. So I was like, "It's either that or War of the Worlds."
Happened to be around.
It was either that or a War of the Worlds Christmas jumper.
Oh yes,
one of the two. So I went, and it's quite warm flat. So I thought I'll tenant it up. I'll go do my due diligence, and that was 1 minute 37 on the cricket, David. Very, very nicely. Hello, everyone in the chat as well. Hello.
Good to see you, mate. Looking forward to an appearance by that Christmas jumper when it gets to the Yuletide season. Yes,
I tend to wear a Christmas jumper every day from December. Like every,
so do I.
I'll try to wear something festive every day, even if it's just boxers or like a Christmas mankini or something. I'm down for anything.
I've got 26 pairs. I've got 26 pairs of Christmas socks.
It's a bold strategy, gentlemen. I appreciate your Yuletide spirit and gusto. It's completely insane, but yeah, you do you. You do you. Fortunately, we're about to bring the levels of sanity slightly back up to a reasonable level with our friend Gary Akers.
No, you're not. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. I'm here to commiserate, like you said, Dan. Just call me the commiserator. Thursdays at 9 after Law and Order. It's the commiserator.
Yeah.
No, so it'll be great to I never know what to expect on these, and this looks like a double helping of that today.
Very much so. Very much so. Let's start with the TARDIS console room. This is the second Doctor's console room, so it looks kind of like the first Doctor's, but kind of not. It's when they couldn't be asked, dressing it, putting in all the bits and pieces, and they gradually started to make it that bit more simple, didn't they? Yeah. But the secret is it's not actually a console room at all. It becomes a little bit more obvious when we add a bit of colour. Oh, that look nice. It's got a touch of the green about it and the cream now, and you can practically hear that floor if you were to walk on it, I think. But isn't that a beautiful picture?
It is.
If we pan back a little, you can see it's actually a model, courtesy of Who Photography there. And this is how the entire thing looks.
Very nice.
Built up on their table there in their abode. I don't know what sort of size that is. Looks about the size that you could accommodate a character options figure or two with, would be my guess. Yeah. But how effective is that? It almost fooled me.
It's that console. That's such a detailed, you can see all the little buttons and all the levers and all the bits of it, yeah. Especially
it's all in there.
Beautiful.
I'm always impressed. When they're big, they're impressive, but to do something that small with the detail is incredible.
Mm.
Beautifully done. And the diamond pattern on the floor goes. It's the little details like that I appreciate from model makers. I wouldn't have the patience or the sort of the lightness of touch to do something like this. I'm really cack-handed, Luke, when it comes to using sort of scalpels and craft knives and things like that,
Yeah, I'm awful. I can barely put a pair of shelves together. I can operate a £100,000 camera no problem. Ask me to put up a set of shelves. I'm whacking it with a wood mallet, which is actually true. And I have a video of me whacking it, an Argos one, because I don't believe in IKEA. Basically, Argos was slightly cheaper and they delivered a little bit quicker. So there you go.
It's a tip for the top. Another view here of Who Photography's second Doctor console room from a slightly different angle. I like how the round walls sort of glow differently as well, depending on which area they're in, Gary.
I adore this classic console room. I was going to say you could also just take like a character options TARDIS and put it in the corner and pretend you're in Legopolis. You know, just reenact the whole first episode from Legopolis. Put another TARDIS in there, but or you could put if it's the Troughton console, you can get a figure of Zoe and splay her on the console from the Mind Robber.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's not 9 o'clock yet.
Well, I'm just saying you can do a lot of things with this console room.
So
you could, doesn't mean you should.
That's a glimpse into your private world, Gary, that we didn't need.
Well, I'm happy to say it's going to be a bit of a come down there, because I'm going to reveal why Who Photography has built this and what use they've put it to. Nothing quite so colourful as Gary's suggestion there, although we can mention it before the watershed. Who Photography has used it to create fan art specifically to replicate a moment from the very end of a classic Doctor Who story. Check this image out of the conclusion to the enemy of the world.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what's actually happening here then, David, from said story?
Well, we've had the wonderful split screen of the Doctor and Salamander breaks into the TARDIS and sets it going with the doors off. And unfortunately, he... Sorry, I've got to rephrase it. He gets sucked off into space.
There we go. It's happened to the best of us. Go on.
And the Doctor then has to try and close the doors whilst making sure nobody else gets sucked off.
There you go.
Into space.
There's a hero for you. Yes, so as you can see, there's a couple of character options figures there and the chair. I think digital manipulation has been put into place, but I just thought this was absolutely beautiful. What I was in awe of this image, but when Who Photography showed us the model too, I thought, wow, I know that everybody else on Type 40 would appreciate this as much as I do. Not least of all because of that sort of cinematic angle that we get that conclusion in model form there in full color.
I was going to say in color. As a nod, Gary, to somebody's sort of patience, perseverance, and the thought to do it in the first place on your kitchen table. That absolutely brilliant. I mean, because for a still picture, there's just such movement in it. All the little bits flying out of the door, and there's such a sense of movement.
Yeah,
for a still shot, it's just great.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're looking at it in your head, you can picture all the movements happening as you see it, which is really impressive.
The Enemy of the World, of course, returned to the archives. When was this? About 12 years ago now? I think I've only ever watched it through about twice, but I keep meaning to watch it again.
Oh, it's a good one.
Gary.
It's great. Yeah, it's one of those ones where nobody really knew anything about it, because I think there's only one episode, which was episode 3, that existed. And then we all of a sudden got the whole thing, and everybody's estimation of this story just skyrocketed. And you think, well, how many other stories would that happen with if we all of a sudden got them back that we don't know anything about it, and then all of a sudden it becomes, a favorite story.
It's a wonderful story, and you can see the brilliance of the acting, although his accent's slightly cod, not as bad as David Jason's accent in Miami Twice in Only Fools and Horses, but it's up there. But apart the accent aside, it's beautiful direction by Barry Letts. It is just, you can see how good an actor Patrick Troughton is by playing two completely opposite characters, and it really, really adds something to it. It's meant to be in Australia, but I think it was on the beach near Brighton, probably where it was filmed, or somewhere wonderfully glamorous like that.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I just thought, because in my head, it was always talked about in Doctor Who magazine when Patrick Troughton played both parts, and they always wax lyrical about it. And I just thought, is it going to be that good? Oh yeah, it is that good. Yeah. It is really that good. And I'm going to be a little bit controversial here. I actually prefer it to Web of Fear.
Do you really? No, I can't say that I do, but then again, I don't think I've ever watched it more than twice. It's one of those stories I've been meaning to go back to. And time flies, doesn't it? And I actually forget sometimes that it came back because it was missing for so long. But gradually, that we're filling in the rest of the Troughton era, of course, with animation, but they don't work for everybody. And so when you get something back in full, Charlotte, it's to be celebrated and to savoured.
Well, it was funny because when by the time I got round to watching Classic, this had been returned already. So for me, it wasn't like a missing episode sort of thing. It was just, it's a Troughton story. So it was my first viewing of this, I sort of didn't have like what David was talking about, the mystique surrounding it, or the sort of the fan anticipation. It was just, Enemy of the World coming up in my watch now. But I adored it, like David said. And it's because you've got such a compelling villain in that they could have just had him written and played like a cartoon or a pantomime villain, but actually you see how clever he is, how he manipulates people, how he uses propaganda. It's all there in the writing, and it's like this sort of deconstruction of what an authoritarian figure would do and how they work. Like I said, there's layers to him, which is brilliant.
And it may not all work, to be fair, but this is what I love about the Troughton era. I think for years and years and years, it was sort of the received wisdom was that it was base under siege story after base under siege story. Yeah. And now we know that actually isn't true, and that they did innovate where they could. And there were whole stretches of sometimes up to 8 weeks where something really quite unconventional was achieved to varying degrees of success, all again for a family audience at tea time, Saturday evenings, God, nearly 6 decades ago. How proud should we be of this show, particularly the classic incarnation, which is more alive than ever. We've always celebrated the classic version of the show here on Type 40 Live, as well as all the other eras too. None get left behind. All opinions are welcome as ever. It's another anniversary coming up at the weekend. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this. And this is being sort of embraced by the BBC in a way that I didn't see coming. It's the 50th anniversary of Terror of the Zygons this Saturday the 30th of August. And yes, they've put out this artwork for the 50th anniversary, declaring you can watch on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel in full too. So they go on to say, as the classic Fourth Doctor story turns 50, join us from 5:45 UK time. That's the kind of post-Basil Brush kind of slot that Doctor Who used to get. You know, it was never on the hour, dead on the hour, or even on the half hour. It was always like 10 to a quarter to a quarter past, something like that. So it's so authentic. This Saturday, for a live stream on the channel, all 4 episodes of Terror of the Zygons streaming in HD, taken from the upcoming season 13 Blu-ray box set, which is still yet to receive a release date, of course. So, hey, what a wonderful gesture this is. Where it's come from, I'm not sure, but I'm all for this, Gary, you know?
Oh, I love the Doctor, Sarah and Harry is my favorite classic series team. So any of those stories are automatically in my top echelon, and with one of the most brilliantly designed monsters in the entire classic series, and it's just great. I mean, I'm wondering now, does that mean that this is the version like possibly with like new effects or something like that, since
it seems so?
Wow, that would be
And
something
obviously
to see.
they don't turn off the comments on these videos, and they do have a live chat sometimes. So they seem to be encouraging the community spirit over there on some of the official socials for a change. I just thought this was really quite refreshing and quite a bold thing to do, and obviously respectful to everybody that was involved in the making of that story 5 decades ago. Luke, are you a fan of Terror of the Zygons?
Yeah, it's a great. To be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, they got some of it. They're streaming it on YouTube, but it's still not on the iPlayer, is it? It's not back as far as I'm aware." So I'm like,
I don't believe so.
What's happened there then?
Well, it was the two. It was the two Robert Banks Stewart stories. This one and Seeds of Doom that I think got.
Well, it might be because it's streamed. It's got a different sort of rights that they can show because it's not permanently on the iPlayer. If they're like, we're just going to show it for this one slot online and then it disappears.
Oh, that's right, because you can't go back and watch it on Sunday, can you? It's there live, and that's that.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe because it's not a permanent thing, they can get away with streaming it, but they can't have it on the iPlayer, would be my guess.
Well, that was a quick conversation, wasn't it? Jeez, that was thanks, Sean. Cheers. Moving on.
For as much as the fandom can and does do creatively, this is the thing that we can't do without getting a copyright strike, David. You know,
totally, absolutely, and that's a wonderful thing. And it has to be. I'm there with Gary. The combination of the Doctor, Sarah, and Harry is just wonderful. It just works. Yeah. I was so upset when Ian Marter wasn't kept on, because for me they were as good as, probably, if not better than, Ian and Barbara, because they just had that wonderful, wonderful byplay and wonderful character play between all three of them, and it just worked. And this is one of my favorite stories of all time. Terror of the Zygons, because again, it just works. It's just perfect from start to finish.
And it's quite fast-paced as well, isn't it, David? So people who haven't seen classic stuff before, who've never bought a Blu-ray and probably never will, and would never maybe think to even go over to the Huniverse app there over on the iPlayer, they can sort of sample that instead of doing all of that habitually in the way that they use YouTube, probably on a daily basis, the way that I think most of us do.
Yeah, totally. And I think it actually is. It might just be under 90 minutes as well. I think it underruns because it's that fast paced, and it's just an amazing story. And I have got so much time for Terror of the Zygons. It is untrue. I love it from start to finish. It is just perfection.
With one of the all-time great shock reveals of the monster.
Oh, yes.
In any classic story.
That cliffhanger. That is the ultimate cliffhanger in all of them. Absolutely ultimate cliffhanger. Sort of thing.
Don't do that again.
It's brilliant. Sorry,
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. So
I do think this shows, Dan, what you're saying, that this is the BBC acknowledging that classic is sort of where Doctor Who is now for the excitement, for people who actually get involved with the brand more and actually enjoy it. It's clearly with the classic episodes now.
Yeah.
It would seem so. Saturday the 30th, that is, from 5:45 over on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel there in HD. All 4 episodes of the classic story Terror of the Zygons to celebrate its 50th anniversary, streaming on YouTube officially from the BBC. Thank you. What a treat. What a treat. Skipping over to another BBC stalwart that's been around a lot longer, BBC Radio 2. Okay, so earlier, I don't listen to Radio 2, of course I don't. But David Tennant, he was on there this week, all to promote this movie, The Thursday Murder Club, starring an assortment of celebrity, veteran acting silvertops, I suppose you could say. Ben Kingsley, Helen Mirren, Celia Imrie, and the great Pierce Brosnan. There they are, all heading up this quite high-profile film from Netflix. David Tennant plays. Can you guess? I think he may be playing a wrong one. I would guess from the Widow's Peak and Master's Beard, Luke. You've cast the Master. Would you say this is some sort of supervillain?
Yes, it is. And to be fair, Thursday Movie Club is a fantastic book as well. And I am it's on Netflix today.
Yes,
it's very limited. Yeah, I'm going to watch it after this stream. So that is my evening. I'm very, very excited to go see it. Very excited because Richard Osman is a fantastic writer as well. And as we all know, his wife is obviously in the Huniverse as Osgood as well. Yeah. So fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. And what a cast as well.
It looks really good.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
It's directed by Chris Columbus, isn't it? The Harry Potter guy, and he's directed so many great movies, family-orientated movies.
Yeah,
it's been panned by some of the critics though, but that's the Independent and the I paper. So, and what do they know? Because they thought Shooty Gap's run of Doctor Who was brilliant. So that's what they know. So it seems
to be a real swing, David, for that kind of cozy crime TV market. In a long form?
Yeah, I love the cozy crime. Brilliant. Fantastic. You know, people don't want to see people being bludgeoned to death and gruesome stuff like Luther. No, fuck that. No, they want nice, cozy old people. They want they want nice, cozy old people having a nice sort of like, you know, fondant French fancy over a cup of.
I'm glad you said that, then.
Yeah, over a cup of Darjeeling. You know, with the odd fruit scone and a bit of the old, is it jam first or is it cream first? And by the way, old Mrs. Goggins is dead. Oh shit! How did she die? You know, that's what they want. That's what we want.
Do you think DT might get a bit of blood splattered over that shell suit that he's wearing there? And if you don't go for David Tennant, giving it the villain, the dead eyes there, maybe go for the sword that's on the wall over his shoulder. This
I was going to say, yes.
Panto stuff, Gary. I
really hope she's in it. I really hope she's in it. I've actually already, I don't have Netflix, but I've already gotten this, and I will be watching it after the show.
Is that
and I love Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus, who directed one of my favorite 80s movies, Adventures in Babysitting. So he gets a lot of...
And it's technically got another Doctor Who link in it because it's got Tom Ellis in this. He was like in the two-parter with Martha when the world was ending. So there's another tiny little Doctor Who link.
It's
Big up the Welsh.
If this is a hit, maybe, as Luke was saying, I mean, aren't there like several books of this? They could do other...
Yeah, there's a new one coming out now in October, I think it is. Yeah.
Yes, because I'm a fan of the Richard Osman, the Reverend Cole's books as well.
They're
making an adaptation of him from the Communards and the Vicar. You know what I mean?
We'll wait and see who David Tennant is going to play in that, because he'll almost certainly be in it. So that's why he was at Radio 2 this week. Now, he was on the Romesh Ranganathan. You know who I mean. The Indian guy with the big beard, Romesh. You'll just say Romesh in future. So he was on his show, but Romesh wasn't. This guy was. This bloke called Josh was hosting it instead. So during the interview, Tennant has discussed his work on this new film, obviously, because it drops like now or about now. But he did go on to talk at some length about Doctor Who, because it does often come up when Tennant gets on these sort of mainstream shows, whether it's on the radio or the telly. So obviously, as Doctor Who fans, we're listening out for any inkling about what could be coming and when it could be coming. David Tennant is definitely on the inside. He finds out, he gets phone calls sometimes before any of the actors involved as to what's going on. And he was pumped for info by Josh. So check it out. There he is, looking like he's got it all together. And this is what he had to say when speaking to the stand-in host, Josh, on the Romesh show on radio.
The Doctor's possibly regenerated as Billy Piper.
Yes,
we don't know what's going on.
That seems to be what happened.
That seems to be what happened.
Yeah.
Did you watch this live?
Yes, I did, yes.
And did you know it was going to happen?
I might have had a little.
Oh, here we go. He's friends with Russell T Davies, isn't he?
But I was still very excited.
Was it very exciting?
Very exciting.
Did you text Billy?
Yes, yeah, and just like, what? What's going on? Tell us.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, do you know what's going to happen?
No, I don't.
Come on.
That's a yes, isn't it, Jules?
I really hope it's a cover-up for the fact that she's going to be the next Doctor.
Well, I mean, that's who's standing in the TARDIS at the end of it, isn't it?
Oh, but he wouldn't be saying that if he knew she was the next.
Listen, I can't give you. I can't give you information I don't have.
Charlotte, my first question was going to be: do you believe David Tennant?
No. He can't cover that. He's thinking, how do I word this? How do I word this? Because like the thing with Billy, we've said this, it's this big old mystery box, it's this big old question that everybody connected to her, herself, Russell, is going to be asked. Do you know when Billy's the Doctor then? It's just not gonna go away. And like, I
mean, this could be fun if it wasn't so infuriating, Charlotte.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. If it went down well, we said this also at the time, this is why they did it, to get this sort of question going and the press talking about it. But the fans went, no, this is stupid. They didn't react kindly to this, to put it lightly. No. So I think that's the problem now. It's this big old mystery that the fan base is just sort of very quickly getting fed up of and not wanting to really know the answer to some degree.
Someone's got to be the Doctor.
Didn't you think his sideburns looked a bit long?
Yeah, I've always wondered.
You shit stirrer.
I think that Josh Widdicombe's done marvellously well being the love child of Anne Widdicombe and Michael Heseltine. Only joking, by the way. But yes, it's what a combination. But yeah, I think I'm not sure who Josie was who was on the show. I'll message my friend who's produces Trevor Nelson, who should be able to tell me. But no, not Trevor Nelson, Spoonie. But yeah, David Tennant knows. He's just covering it up. Of course he knows, because he's already been cast to be the 14th Doctor alongside the Thing that is Billie Piper. Because I call her the Thing because I'm not being dispolite or impolite even. The fact of the matter is we don't know what the character is, so it's the Thing as far as I'm concerned. But it'll probably be... It'll probably be the Doctor moment, TARDIS thing combined with David Tennant, so they can have one last adventure. And
oh god, that sounds intolerable. Is this the plot thickening, Gary, or was David Tennant, the fact that he was speaking quicker and quicker means that he was panicking? What do you take from that?
Well, I think that the scenario that David proposed is like a fan fiction nightmare.
So it's bound to happen.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that if Russell knows. I mean, she was just brought in at the last minute. Honestly, I just have, I'll default to say that he's lying, but I don't really know what the truth is myself. It's just, I know this guy is lying all the time. Anything he says is a lie. But as far as David Tennant, I don't know. I'm not as certain as Charlotte.
Oh, here's the thing. I don't think he knows like a full picture, but I think he probably knows, is she the Doctor or not? I think that's the limit of what he does know.
Please no more David Tennant. 2 incarnations. I think 2.5 are enough, I feel, but I can't believe for a single second that in the time that he spent talking to Billy then, when they recorded the Unleashed special, at conventions since, and in those sort of WhatsApp calls and groups and private calls too, I can't believe that that's not going to come to something, David.
Yeah, and I think also we need to remember that David Tennant is a massive fan as well, so he probably wouldn't want to say something that upsets people either way. Again, I know because he's probably on a bit of a dial down, but yeah, I think I know people are already making a bit of a thing of the thing gag that I made in the chat, but I do actually think that it could be a thing because it is so incredulously fan fiction based that we have run out. That the way that the show is at the moment, everybody's run out of ideas. Oh my God, how do we get bums on seats again? It's going to be absolutely incredulous. However, we're going to have to put them pair back together because we've had him and Donna. Oh my God, everybody loves him and Billy. Let's throw out the baby with the bathwater and just put them back on screen, and we'll think about how it's going to work later.
And they'll probably have a big old kiss, and that's how they'll regenerate.
They'll be slurping. There will be
honestly, I just think that and I'm being serious, I think they should just wrap it all up in a 4-minute Children in Need skit and be done with it. I mean, have that be the end of it. Because all you need is 4 minutes to wrap it up, do it, and then that's all.
Yeah, it doesn't. It could be quite a short resolution.
Yeah,
and we could have David Tennant in Zoe's cat suit just for you, Gary, as well. Sprawled all over the TARDIS.
I just can't get over these green pants. I can't stop staring at these green pants.
Good point. I mean, just think.
Are they green? Sorry, is he the same age as William Hartnell now?
Near enough. Nearly.
Yeah. Mad.
You know, let's not. We've got to face facts. David Tennant is aging. You can tell he's visibly older now. He's aging in the way that a lot of us age. But I think he's still, obviously, compared to how old people in their mid-50s used to look. William Hartnell was, I think 54 when he was cast, and Tennant is 53 and a half, something like that. We're not too far away.
He needs to go grey and distinguished. Because...
David Tennant is grey. Believe me, David Tennant's hair colour is definitely grey. He put a lot of product on it.
I was going to say that colour very clearly is not natural. That's all I'll say.
It's naturally from a bottle.
Naturally from a bottle.
How about this? How about
going as well?
How about we get a Christmas special with David Tennant? He can play the 10th Doctor, the Meta-Crisis Doctor, the 14th Doctor. Frosted Tips, he can play Hartnell. He can play the first Doctor too.
Yeah.
And just call it like, and then we can think of somebody else and just call it like, we'll do another like 5 Doctors Christmas special, only starring David Tennant. Just with David Tennant.
Oh no. You know, I'll stick to the Thursday Murder Club, I think, rather than go for that. This is coming to Netflix right about now. I think, depending on where you are in the world, there for you to stream. David Tennant is in it to some degree or another, but I think people are largely going to be there for Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, Celia Imrie, and what's his name, Tom Ellis, and various
and
others.
Daniel May.
Yeah, I'm going to give this.
I think this is going to get huge numbers on Netflix.
Oh, I hope it does. I can't wait to watch it.
Even more, maybe, if they're lucky, then our numbers here at Time 40 Live on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X. Let's go and check out the live chat and see what people have got to say about all this nonsense so far. Yeah, we're jumping for joy to be back here on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X with you all to take your comments on the things that we've been speaking about so far from across the Huniverse. Stephen Braddock has joined us in the live chat here to say it's great news about Terror of the Zygons streaming there in HD in full on Saturday evening for its 50th anniversary. They seem to want to celebrate a Doctor Who community spirit again. That's very good news.
Yes.
And or funky speculator, it could be that YouTube has given some money to the estate of Robert Banks Stewart. I think he's suggesting there. Who knows? Who knows? Proper Zygons, says Peter Harrington. Yes. So this seems to have gone down very, very well, doesn't it, Luke? You know, maybe they could do more of these because they do themed evenings, don't they? Mixing up various episodes and highlights, but maybe whole stories and watch parties could be a thing.
Yeah, I think they did the Master one recently as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the more
saw
you're
that.
trying to drive the online engagement, is the more it's going to do better just to keep Doctor Who in the public zeitgeist. And I guess the BBC are committed to bringing Doctor Who to the fans. They didn't say in which way, so a YouTube live stream is as good as anything, I guess.
It counts.
It's all good for the
Does
brand.
it count? I think it might count. I think it does.
It's all good for the brand.
Welcome, Vanessa, back in the live chat there, one of our dedicated moderators. Thank you for your time and your company. I have a special affection for Ian and Barbara. She says, but I like that Harry is a different kind of character with flaws and all. It's funny how the classic era never really had a great deal of time for character development because that's not really what it was for. It wasn't in the show's gift back then. It was high adventure in 25-minute chunks on a Saturday night. So the characters could barely grow or change. But that's how you know that these characters were very carefully, very well written and considered by the actors, because some of them, they do seem very fleshed out. And I think Ian Marter's Harry Sullivan shows that better than most because he wasn't in it for that long, really, Gary, when you look back.
Well, I know that in later years, apparently, like Philip Hinchcliffe, that was one of his biggest regrets, that he didn't recognize the chemistry of those three characters.
Yeah.
He stuck with his original plan to just have Harry, be in that first season. And I love the fact that all the stories are like interconnected. They all run one into the other. So it's like one long season long kind of epic, which I think is just great.
Epic.
I shoot his second season. Yeah, well, it's nice.
He also carries off a duffel coat brilliantly, does Ian Marter.
And I love in Zygons how because Tom is wearing the Scottish scarf, that it's Harry who's wearing the other scarf. I think that's just great.
It's brilliant.
Lord Thoth commends you for your eternal optimism here, David.
You.
So nice to be appreciated, isn't it?
Yeah. Once in a while, yeah. Thank you.
Stephen O'Neill remembers the broadcast of Terror of the Zygons all the way back in 1975. Hope we're not making you feel old, Stephen. Welcome to Type 40 Live. We'll be watching Terror. A lot of people are going to be watching this, it seems. Yeah. Rose Kirby is still frustrated that there's no release date yet for season 13. And we get these things when we get them. It's just one thing we've got to live with, isn't it? Where we are where we are.
Have you just coming up the 32nd of August? I think it was 30 seconds. Yeah.
30 seconds. Are you sure the 32nd?
Yep. 32nd of August.
All right. Okay. I'll write that on my calendar now.
And we've been talking there about the Thursday Murder Club movie, and it's unearthed fans of cozy crime here in the live chat. Cliff Maxwell says, my wife is immersed in the books, so she's looking forward to me finally being interested. Oh, so Tennant's appearance in this has piqued your interest, or is it the fact that James Bond's in it and various other dependable actor types? I think so. I can't wait to see all these together. We've got Darren has joined us in the live chat. Good to see you, mate. Good to have you back. Kieran's here too. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good to see you too. Tom from T Dwarf Productions. He's scuttling around here and there with his menagerie of monsters, Charlotte.
He's always working on something, Tom.
Good old Tom.
Beavering away. Funky notes that Tennant is doing so many villains these days. Is this to make up for being the only Scottish actor who never appear in Taggart?
Everybody else has been in there. I think even Richard Wilson was in there, probably. I'm not sure if he was.
Was he? I know that Tennant did a sitcom with Richard Wilson, didn't he? It was called The Duck Patrol.
It wasn't very good.
No, I don't. It never made an impression on me. I certainly can't remember David Tennant in it. To be honest, he was the lead actor, Richard Wilson. I can't remember him in it. That's not a good sign.
No. I like
never believe an actor suggests Lord Thoth. Who'd suggest such a thing? Could be Hugh Grant. Could be Hugh Grant. Okay, what else and who else? The Zero Room is in the live chat too, as is Crimpling Doubloon. Good to have you back with us as well. The Billy Thing. Lots of comments about the Billy Thing.
Sorry.
That's now the name.
Because it's Billy's head on Gatwa's shoulders. It's a real thing. Shoulders. Okay. I
Good job it's not his knees.
I'm not going to bother deciphering any of this. You just carry on having fun there in the live chat. Good evening, everyone, says JWC Reviews. Good evening, JWC. What are you reviewing? Is it us or is it them? Is it the BBC? Is it what they've been pumping out lately? And what do you think of this decision to live stream all of Terror of the Zygons? Let us know. Rob suggests that they throw Billy out with the bathwater. No. I wouldn't do that. You know, I don't. I'm not on board with wherever it's going. Really, I think it's all ridiculous. But I do feel for Billie Piper, as I think I've said before. She's been left holding the baby in many respects. Okay, who else? David Tennant is 54, says Rob Alexander. So I think Hartnell would have been around.
Hartnell was 55 when he took over 55. The role of the Doctor.
Oh, there's loads of lies in this chat today. He's 1 minute he's 54, then he's fake news.
Tennant is 56, says Billy Bullshitter, watching on YouTube.
Fake chat.
It's not even his real name.
Fake chat.
No.
Stop lying to us, chat.
Nicholas Horton's in the live chat too. He's got all these streaming platforms. Blah 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 blah. Take your pick. An abundance,
Crunchyroll.
I don't know what
it's anime stuff.
He's got money. That's what he said. He's got money.
Minted, man. Evening all, says Domgo. Evening to you too, Domgo. And we've got various others here in the live chat. Domgo says he used to like David Tennant. Which version of David Tennant? The one in the brown suit, like our Luke's very own shirt there, or the one in the blue suit? Let us know which was your favourite David Tennant incarnation of Doctor Who. More evening alls, more backslapping and catching, upping going on there in the live chat on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X. This is where the real community spirit lies, BBC. But no, I do wish them luck with this this stream on Saturday to yank the brand out of the mire and the mud by fair means or foul, and cheer us all up, and to cheer him up as well. This poor Sea Devil there. He's still waiting for a broadcast date for the war between the land and the sea. It's been coming soon for months. We now know it's coming next year. Of course, we talked about this on the last edition of the show after those revelations there from everybody at the Edinburgh TV Festival. That was Kate Phillips, wasn't it, that was speaking out. The head of BBC content, I think that was, and Jane Tranter, she was there too, and lots of other of the bigwigs were letting things slip. And we were all over that on the last edition of the show with a breaking news special. So go and check that out for our thoughts about everything that was kicking off there and then. What's kicking off this weekend? Yeah, let's acknowledge this too. If you're lucky enough to be heading to Derby and Quad for Hooverville 16, that's this Saturday as well, the 30th of August. So you can go to Hooverville, take in the entire day, and then on the way back, if you're on the coach, on the train, then you can stream Terror of the Zygons, can't you? If you're not hooed up to the gills. So yeah, let us know how your day goes. As ever, all our best wishes to the Hoovers and anybody attending Hooverville 16 there. Hope you have a fantastic day. We can't wait to see the pictures and all the reports back. It's quite a list of guests. So yeah, get stuck in, have a brilliant time, and then get back in there and load up with classic Doctor Who on the YouTube channel as well. As for us, you can catch us across all major podcatchers as ever with the Type 40 Doctor Who podcast. All major podcatchers, our home feed at type40.podbean.com, and still those enhanced video editions here on the YouTube and Rumble channels too. In the meantime, this is Type 40 live on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X, with lots of comments there from our friends in the live chat. We want more of all of it, basically, about everything that we've got to come. We're still picking our way through this statement from the BBC. BBC representative Kate Phillips last week. It was something, but it was nothing. She assures us that Doctor Who will still be on the BBC. Can't just mean the YouTube channel, can she? The TARDIS is going nowhere, so she claimed, and we're still taking your comments about all of that too. How do you feel about where things are going, stroke, not going?
The universe is in peril. We've got about 24 hours until it completely is destroyed. The only way you can help me save it is by watching Type 40, a Doctor Who podcast. I'll see you there.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And it's sipping away here while the waves are lapping at our feet here at Type 40 Live. The summer is gradually winding down, but we've still got lots to talk about. Now, last week, if you remember, we talked about the fact that Doctor Who had won this pretty pointless award from the Critics Association, if you remember, Gary. It was all rather embarrassing, all a little bit desperate, wasn't it? Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, it's kind of a meaningless award from
from nobody's, basically
from an irrelevant organization.
And then there were the Hugo that we missed out on to the Star Trek animated show, if you remember. So that was a bit of a sting, but you gave us the sort of the upside to that, didn't you? Suggested that show was actually worth watching at all.
Lower Decks? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again,
I maintain my my love for that show.
So we're up, even if Doctor Who was down. But Doctor Who's not up. But Russell T Davies, maybe. I think we know the kind of guy he is. I think he probably will be due to this reception from Manchester Pride 2020. Yeah, apparently it's still Pride in Manchester. I'm sure Pride Month was friggin' March, but I think it's just Pride all year somewhere. Anyway, Manchester Pride 2025, they have been giving out awards, and this was where Coronation Street star Sue Devaney. Now, I remember this actress when she was a kid. She used to be in a show called Johnny Briggs on the BBC.
I love that program.
Did you remember that too, with the theme tune and the little dog and the slide? And Sue played Johnny Briggs' big sister Rita, didn't she?
Yeah.
But she's been on Coronation Street since a couple of years after that wrapped up, here and there playing. I can't remember who she plays. I think she plays Kevin's sister or ex-wife or something like that. I've never really been sure. But according to Russell T Davies, she is a legend. So David, it must be true.
Well, absolutely, and she is a legend just simply for being Johnny Briggs' older sister, with the wonderful euphonium or trombone theme tune. That's the only thing that people remember from that. But yeah, she was on the Curry Cobbles, and then she played. Didn't she play somebody in It's a Sin? A character too. She might have done.
I watched that, and she's not registering the face unless she was really made up.
Or it could be It's a Sin, or it could be anything else that he's done. No, it's not Doctor Who, but I'm not really that interested. I just remember her being in Corrie.
It's a sin. I think the shorts that bloke on the left is wearing, that's definitely a sin. I'm going to skip over that because I'm sure I can see a bollock. So Russell was celebrating. Russell was celebrating Sue Devaney because give David a moment. Because the both of them, this is a big moment for the both of them, because they are the joint recipients of the Your Manchester Icon Award at Manchester Pride for 2025. Russell T Davies was one of two winners. He claims that trophy at one hand each, the other hand being that belonging to Sue Devaney. So the idea is that this award recognises outstanding contributions to Greater Manchester itself and its community, the Pride community. So it's not all bad news for Russell T Davies. He's won something after all, even though they lost the Hugo. Charlotte, it's not all bad news.
Well, no, and to be fair, this is sort of his crowd. Like this, he's talked about. He spent a lot of time in Manchester and in the gay village and the sort of Pride. So yeah, it makes sense. And if he's had good fun getting it, good for him. Like it's not really harming anybody if he gets an award.
I love Gay Village. Russell. I love Canal Street. It's tell you what, fantastic night out.
Gay Village sounds like some sort of modern update of Trumpton or Chipley or something like that.
Tell you what, fantastic night out. My flat is it used to be very close to Canal Street, And yeah, it's always vibes. Always.
So you could see Russell now and again, sort of grabbing a kebab before heading home with the young friend, maybe.
Yeah. There is a very good kebab and chicken shop in Village, and the chip shop as well. But no, it's a good night. Village is a good night out. I'd had many a good night in Village till about 7 a.m, not realizing that it's still sunlight, and then going home and buying. Well, I think I bought like 35 quid's worth of chicken. I only went in for a bag of chips, and I woke up surrounded by.
I saw you coming, mate.
I woke up surrounded by chicken, and I had a chicken burger right next to me on my pillow, and I was like, and then I had to go do an event for what's his name?
KFC.
Oh my god, no, the guy who Graham Harper. I had to go do tech for Graham Harper the next morning. I was like, this tastes. It was a good day though.
I just put Sue Devaney through the old ding dong, and on the IM
shorts again.
Okay.
on the old search, and it was years and years she was in for Russell. There
you go.
So that's the Russell T Davies one that she was in years and years. So apologies to Russell T Davies aficionados. I got it wrong.
Congratulations to Sue Devaney and Russell T Davies, I suppose, for winning that Icon Award by all means. It's not all bad news, but just to rub it in, I thought we'd head back to the final frontier here and cross over with another of the big three. The big three sci-fi franchises, properties, IPs. Doctor Who being one, Star Trek being another, and the other one being you know what, the one that's in even worse shape than Doctor Who in some respects. But yes, viewers of the current live action, it's the flagship Star Trek show. Is it the flagship show now? Even he doesn't know. I'm not sure what is the current flagship show. Viewers of the current Star Trek show, Strange New Worlds, were treated to an appearance by the Doctor, sort of. Now, this show's been running for a couple of years now. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I loved it when it was first on. I've really sort of gone off it over the last couple of years. So I certainly, when they drop a new episode, I don't jump on it the way that I used to. But this was all over social media when people spotted a familiar blue box in the background there. This makes it the first true on-screen crossover between Star Trek and Doctor Who. Both have run for 6 decades apiece now. Both have had various gaps in that. And it's been sort of threatened, promised that they could team up and cross over at some point. But here we are. It's actually happened, sort of. I mean, Gary, you're a big Trek fan. Does this count?
Well, of course, yes, it counts. I'm not sure that's the real TARDIS, though, because I don't see Sutek sitting on top of it.
I've gone in close.
There
I
it
can't
is.
see that either.
This absolutely is a cross. This absolutely is a crossover. And like you said, they already crossed over in the in that comic mini series from about 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. So
yes,
there you go. I thought
yeah, so
fun. I mean, this is just fun. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with stuff like this too. This is the 3rd season of Strange New Worlds, and this was in the 6th episode of the 10, titled "The Sealat Who Ate Its Tail." So if you want to go and watch this for yourself and find out, the idea is that the Enterprise and all these other starships have been captured by scavengers, and so they're trying to get the ship free, as they often do, and sort of do that thing where they go from side to side of the set. I think they still do all of that, and then we pan across and we see all the space debris, and there is the TARDIS wrapped up with whatever that is, all the other junk kicking around the nacelle. That's what they call them on the Enterprise, a proper spaceship. I'm quite a big Star Trek fan, but as I say, I'm kind of the current. It's just like Doctor Who. It's the current regime of Star Trek. I feel they've damaged it a little, and I really liked this show when it was first on, but it's sort of gone off the boil with me. Are you a Star Trek man, Luke?
No.
Not tempted now they've done this?
How dare you?
I tried to get. I've watched Doctor and Star Trek fans cannot get on. All the Star Trek jokes in Hooligans were very, very well written by myself because I don't like the show at all. Behave, Gaza. Yeah, no, it's just not for me. I tried it when I was younger and I just couldn't get into it, to be honest. I've seen the JJ films, so they were okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one show that I just couldn't get into. I preferred Star Wars.
Oh, dear.
Close your ears, Mr. Spock. Close your ears. How about you, Charlotte? Are you a Trekker at all on the sly?
Tried, and I'm like Luke. I just couldn't get into it. Like, it's one of those things where, like, because I was like, oh, I like Doctor Who. I'm a casual Star Wars person. I tried Trek, but honestly, the way they've done this, it reminds me of video game sort of Easter eggs. Because usually every time they have a Doctor Who reference in a video game, it's either a Dalek reference or they stick a TARDIS because it's the most like quick and easy, but it's such an iconic image that fans will go, "Oh, it's the TARDIS." So the way, as soon as I saw the images online, I was like, "This is like if you're walking around like a Skyrim, which is a massive open world game, and suddenly next to a rock there's a TARDIS and then it disappears."
Oh, I see.
Oh, like, I love Skyrim.
There's no story. There's nothing like. There's no characters. It's just, I think that's have the icon of the TARDIS somewhere. And like people have said in this chat, we had the whole Comic-Con last year with them, where Kurtzman and Russell did a panel together. So this is probably come from that, I would guess, this whole idea.
Yeah, I think it followed on from this mention of Star Trek in the first shooty sort of proper episode that wasn't it? It was in Space Babies. Ruby says it's like a matter transporter like in Star Trek, and the Doctor suggests that they've got to visit them one day, which is another thing that I think would have made even Mr. Spock's ears stand on end. But it did carry through, to Comic-Con last year. There was the Doctor Who and Star Trek panel where the insufferable Russell T Davies met the even more insufferable Alex Kurtzman there, and with the most awkward hug I think you could possibly have imagined, and a panel that wasn't much fun to listen to. We did a whole stream where we looked at that. Has anybody recovered from that yet?
I blocked that out of my memory.
They insisted that friendship was universal, and the two who clearly never met before and had no connection whatsoever and no chemistry at all kind of talked around their house for 3 parts of an hour. And these things, they are what they are. It was they meant well, I suspect. But what I believe that moment with the TARDIS is probably, just like the people watching the live chat, I think it's probably led from one thing to another. The TARDIS has appeared in other shows before, here and there, if you know where to look. Most famously, I think most notoriously, here in Red Dwarf back in the 90s. That was the episode. Do you remember this? This was the episode Demons and Angels, I think, from series 5.
That's when they blew up the model of the dwarf, wasn't it?
Yeah. Tucked away there as Starbug is preparing to launch. I'm a big Red Dwarf fan. Little things like it. I think Mike Tucker worked on both shows. That's probably where that came in.
He did.
And then, of course, there was this appearance in Chelmsford 1, 2, 3. Bit more of a deep dive, this historical sitcom from the late 80s this time over on Channel 4. But I was watching this, I was like 14 or something, staying up late to watch it. And when I heard the wheezing and groaning noise of the TARDIS from my favourite show, I couldn't believe this when it popped up. And a figure in shadows appears in the doorway, sort of half comes out, puts his hand up to see if it's raining or not, and notes that it's sort of pissing down, and gets back in, shuts the door, and dematerializes again. It's a nice little moment in this in a show which was kind of like Channel 4's answer to Blackadder, Gary, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like something that's actually canon. That's all I care about. Is it canon? There's a little kind of cute homages. Tell that, you said this is late 80s, so back then it was still part of the zeitgeist. So that's great. It was.
Even though Doctor Who was on its uppers, there was a kind of nod to Doctor Who from Star Trek back on The Next Generation in season 2, when the names of the actors who played the first 6 incarnations were seen there on a display in this was an episode, I think it was late in season 2. I can't remember precisely which one, but there they are. If you sort of squint, you can see it a lot better in the HD remastered Blu-rays there, David.
Yeah, I mean, I am big into Star Trek as well. The original series, Next Generation, are obviously my favourites. And then I found Deep Space Nine. I'm sorry, Deep Space Nine fans. I found that more difficult to keep up with because I found that if you missed an episode, you're buggered. I did sort of...
It was a serial, really.
Yeah, I dipped in and out of Voyager. Never really got going with Enterprise, Discovery, but I am a huge fan of the original series and Next Generation. In fact, just the other day I watched the brilliant Data's Day, which is one of my all-favorite time episodes of that. And but I do prefer the original crew and good old Bill and Leonard and DeForest Kelley. Leading up that one, but and I have I have noticed it in the chat this evening. Someone was saying that they love Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. That I have to say that and Insurrection are two of my guilty pleasures from the Star Trek film series. Basically, because the character pieces, and I think a lot can be estimated with respect for character pieces. I think they're wonderful films.
I love all of Star Trek right the way up to the end of Enterprise. I even quite like the first season of Discovery, but there's no accounting for taste.
Really? Oh.
Funky says, yes, Red Dwarf did this gag first. We know, we said. Stephen Braddock says the TARDIS has also popped up in Chelmsford 1, 2, 3 and The Librarians. I've mentioned to you, I think, a couple of times, haven't I, Gary, how I want to try that show.
Yeah. Now, Librarians has always does little subtle Doctor Who stuff. Leverage, which is a non-genre show, but from the same creators as Librarians, had Doctor Who references all the time. So the creators of both of those shows really were Who fans.
Please don't do a crossover, please. Begs the Zero Room. A lot of people don't feel this. I get it, to be honest. I mean, I'm allergic to musical episodes of anything, so I can't really throw my arms up at people who don't want crossovers. I don't really think it would necessarily work very easily either. I think the ethos of any of the three, the big three, are really, really different, and the appeal of them, even though there's a crossover of interest as regards the audience, I think that they like them for different reasons, really, but that didn't stop J.J. Abrams from popping R2-D2 into the 2009 Star Trek movie there, R2-D2, the droid from Star Wars, of course. So I would imagine that he, if nobody else, is waiting for a call-up to be in Doctor Who now. At some point, it would probably only be fair. Maybe I wouldn't mind a little droid scuttling around somewhere. Luke, could you live with that?
Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know. I think Star Wars is a very damaged brand right now. So it'd be a very, very... this is a long conversation. How long have we got? Jesus, talk about Star Wars. Yeah. I'd be happy to see a little R2 or BB-8 pop up. But yeah, Star Wars is a very damaged brand right now. So I think it's about time they try and course correct. Oh my God, this just sounds like I'm talking about Doctor Who, doesn't it? Jesus.
It does a bit.
It's the same.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
All
it's just been
over.
exploited IP.
Cheryl claims she's never watched Star Trek, and Domgo says it's a bag of woke garbage now too, which I think was kind of what. It's the same. It's the same. Dalek El Arabia doesn't seem to like Star Trek fans very much. I'm a big Star Trek fan, so I don't hold with this kind of talk. And Rose is still asking, when is the Doctor Who season 13 box set out? Right, Rose, we've spoken about this before.
It's the 32nd of August.
Ask them, not us. Star Trek Strange New Worlds continues. So that's season 3. It's working its way to the finale now. I think they're about 8 in of the 10. There's another 2 seasons of this that have practically been shot because it's ended. Production on it has ended. It's concluding before they sort of move on to something else because the rights to Trek have been sort of snapped up in a far bigger deal. And things are starting to look a bit brighter, at least for the Roddenverse, as they call it. So, maybe that could work out for Doctor Who in time. I think we may have a long wait. But we've got the TARDIS in Doctor Who. If the TARDIS in Star Trek, if that does tick a box for you, tick a blue box, then brilliant. In the meantime, check out some of those Doctor Who and Star Trek comics that are out there. They are lots of fun. They're few and far between from IDW, but you can get them in collections and dive in there. Beautiful painted artwork covers. There's lots and lots of fun. Just don't get too hung up on continuity. Don't get too hung up on sense and reason either, because this is Type 40 Live on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X. And this is the bit where we go into a selection of golden nuggets featuring golden faces and golden voices connected with Doctor Who's classic and new past. They're all flogging us bits of old tat from TV times, TV decades that have gone before. So, chew through as many fingers of the Type 40 Live Doctor Who ad break as you can possibly manage in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll see you back here.
Did you know there've actually been 10 Doctor Who's? Yeah, the Daleks were originally called the Mutants, and TARDIS stands for Time and Relative Dimensions in Space.
Radio Times. You're more informed because we're more informed.
Imagine a perfect white. Imagine a white that covers beautifully. Why imagine? ICI have created a white with molecules that lock together to bring you a perfect finish. The light up your life white of Dulux. Silk white, matte white. Trust Dulux to cover beautifully.
The TARDIS, 10 million light-years per unit of Artron energy. The new Honda C50, 209 miles per gallon of petrol.
Good morning. Excuse me. Where would people be without the telephone? Lengths of copper wire that gave everybody a speaking tube to the world.
Is there Brussels?
Well, now in New Zealand, through telecom, the humble telephone is putting a whole new future at your fingertips with this. Threads of glass that can slip through the eye of a needle and yet can carry not just one conversation, like the copper wire, but 2,000 conversations simultaneously.
Thanks, mate. Don't worry, mate, it clicks. Flash phone box, eh?
Ah, but there's more to this phone box than meets the eye. See you soon.
That was that Dr. Spock joke, wasn't it?
Welcome back to Type 40 Live, Rumble X, YouTube and Facebook here, covering the past, the present and the future of the Huniverse, of all things Doctor Who, whether it's on telly or not, whether it's in our hearts or in our minds, it's always on the tip of our tongue. Lots to talk about and plenty of sights to see, including this. What a sight there with the Doctor and the punks from, I think it looks like the mid to late 70s, I would guess. But the Cyberman is conspicuous. It's not of the correct time period. But maybe they hadn't reinvented them yet. Clearly not.
No.
This is a picture I've always loved. I'm not a big punk rocker, but I'm a big fan of the Cybermen.
She looks like she looked like Mary from EastEnders, Dan.
I think I say Mary Whitehurst for a minute. I thought on the weekend.
Do you remember Mary from EastEnders?
Of course I do. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She was, she was the one who lived with a little baby above the doctors. I think it was something like that. Yes. Yeah. So back here with the panel, we've got Charlotte, we've got David, we've got Gary, and we've got Luke, and lots more to talk about as well on the Big Who, a lively discussion about the pressing matters of the week in the Huniverse. Where could we be going this time? Because isn't it all bad news, Doctor? Doesn't look too happy, does he?
No.
Doesn't look too happy at all. Maybe we can look to the BBC themselves for some sort of solution. After all, they are very community-minded, aren't they? Well, they are when it. I think they are when it suits them.
Have they actually blocked you?
They block a lot of people, mate. They block a lot of people. I have been blocked in the past. Yes, so the BBC, they seem to pick and choose how valuable they view the dedicated Doctor Who fan base at any time. They effectively block and unblock depending on whether they need us or not, or more to the point, need our attention and need our money. I'm not sure what's in it for us. But if we get more events like the special HD celebratory screening there on YouTube of Terror of the Zygons in full, maybe it's not all bad, and maybe a tide has turned. Maybe. Just maybe. It's not all about the new fans, of course. Collectively, there are so many of us, depending on whichever century we found the show in, can often dictate our taste, but not always. And so I think that how I view the Doctor Who fandom and my sort of relation to it, and the reason why I like to sort of get together and talk about it, is to compare and contrast with different people from different generations and different territories. Gary, that's very much what this show is about, and something which I found that the brand, that the holders of the IP have done everything but do that for much of the last 7 or 8 years,
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we here try to be as embracing and inclusive of a lot of everybody's different ideas and opinions, but yeah, there has been, it's felt like a concerted effort to be exclusionary and on a lot of people's part.
Yeah. They weren't even going to celebrate the 20 years of New Who, were they, Charlotte, until really quite late in the day. I think until they worked out that they'd really dropped a clanger with that latest season, and that the conclusion of it was not going to sit well with anyone. So they come sort of running back to us. That was surprising enough. But they followed it up with something which I didn't see coming at all. So as the summer has continued, and 2 months on from that last season of Doctor Who, and let's be honest, the largely hated conclusion, the BBC choose now to launch their own regular Doctor Who magazine show. I say regular, heaven knows how irregular it's going to be. But this also revolves around the series on and off screen on YouTube. It's made some bold claims. It's got a curious mission statement as being made by fans. But this is the Huniverse show. The first episode has been hosted by Terrell Charles and Crystal D, along with an American correspondent. And it's all sort of cozy, kind of a cheap version of This Morning, really. So we've got a sofa, an armchair, a reasonably well-lit set with some objet d'art kicking around. It all looks kind of very daytime TV-ish. But I was just surprised they've made this at all, because Doctor Who as a brand was sinking not just into the mud creatively, but in a populist sense as well. This is now the show that no one is talking about. Their blurb says, from breaking news, special features, episode breakdowns, and new product launches to interviews and fan spotlights, the Huniverse show focuses on the latest happenings in the Huniverse, offering a fresh and engaging look at everything Doctor Who. They claim each episode will deliver coverage tailored for fans worldwide to help celebrate the shared passion and legacy of the global Doctor Who fandom. Isn't that our job, Charlotte?
Well, no,
it's the actual fans.
But the BBC have sort of had this they'll do shows like this and then they'll stop, and then they'll do a show like this and then they'll stop.
Yeah.
When it suits them.
There's no consistency. Like, they had the fan show, which Crystal D was also a part of. It's sort of, they know the online is a big part of the fandom. They know it's a big part of where discussions are sort of moved now. And like you said, fans talking to each other about episodes or news. So that it's sort of like somebody who has no clue saying, "Oh, I know I need to be a part of this," but not actually having any knowledge to how to crack it. And this, to me, feels like just the latest version. But the other reason I honestly think they've done this now, because I was a bit like you when it got announced. I was like, you've had 2 years of a show on and you didn't have it when the show was on. Now when it's off air, you get this. I think they're doing this because a couple months ago, when a load of the executives at BBC, before the recent comments, before that, they got asked about the future. And they talked about how Doctor Who is this brand, how it's got all these different like facets and different working parts. So I think while the show's not on air currently, they've done this so they can say, oh, but the show's not there. Doctor Who as a brand is still going. You've got DVDs, you've got books, you've got audios, you've got whatever Joe Martin's doing next year. So it's this idea of pointing to the parts and highlighting the things which are still technically like working at this point, and sort of putting a spotlight on that. I think that's some of the logic here. I mean,
the truth of the matter, and not wishing to be glib about it. I mean, it's not for the BBC to decide or to shepherd the fans into anything. The fans, we decide what we will celebrate and how. That being said, nothing against either Terrell or Crystal. I get why they're there. I just wonder why. The ideal time to have this show on, just like you said, Charlotte, would have been when Doctor Who was on. That's what they did with the fan show. The fan show ran for how long? That was from 2015 to 2018. Quite a good chunk of time that evolved. And that was Crystal D with various other people that hosted that. It changed, and the people involved in it, they grew as well over the time. And by the time it disappeared, I actually quite enjoyed this, and I missed it when they didn't do it anymore. Obviously, things do sort of move on. This new version seems to be a blend of that mixed in with totally Doctor Who, the kids show from years ago. Because even though these are grown adults fronting it, the way that it's pitched seems almost aimed towards kids, but the show itself has done nothing to attract kids. So I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to work either. I mean, do you have shows like this in the States, Gary, that revolve around anything? Or have Star Wars and Star Trek got the equivalence? Or is this just a Doctor Who thing?
No, I mean, I know that they used to, like, for like certain of the Trek shows, they used to have, like, Will Wheaton used to host like the post show on Discovery. Usually these take the form of like post shows, like Stranger Things. They used to have like a post show right after each episode, where that's really the form that, at least in the US, these things take. But I've got to admit, when you said that this was a regular show, my blood ran cold. I thought actually this was a one-off. And to Crystal's credit, I thought that the videos that she has done over the last little while that I've seen of her on YouTube, where she's talking with Lee Binding and going into how he's come up with all the art for the collection sets, those are really interesting to get the thought process of how he composes Gary, all that. So
if you remember, by the time the fan show wrapped up, Crystal D delivered a fantastic 3-part interview with Stephen Moffat. It was really, really good by any standards.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do like this for 3 years, your interviewing skills are going to get, are going to get honed.
And that's why, in a sense, I find it strange to find her back doing this, back to creatively square one. I would have thought more of that would have been not necessarily where, I don't know, obviously I don't know whether that would be something she'd want to do, but I thought that would be where supplementary content would actually be best directed.
Well, the mission, as you just said, you know, when they listed all the things they're going to be covering, I mean, if that's the mission statement for this show, it's so broad that it's like, what is the specific intent of this show? Not just who it's intended for, but is it to, generate new viewers? Is it to pacify people who are already missing the show? I gotta, for my own, I just have to actually apologize on behalf of all of America for the first like 15 minutes of this, which I thought was it redefined cringe to me, at least. And I thought that the intent of that was, I mean, I'm not familiar with the person who posted that segment at Comic-Con. I'd be willing to bet a month's salary she hasn't seen 2 seconds of Classic Who, that it's all about like New Who. But it was more just like, if this show's coming on, you've got to kind of try to be, I don't know, like appeal to everybody without making anybody kind of cringe. So I'm not really sure what the focus of this show is.
Well, the focus and the timing seem to be largely in line with Comic-Con San Diego, which again seems weird at first, but then you realize what Doctor Who's presence at San Diego Comic-Con was this year. They had no panel, they had no cast, they had no production personnel, but they did launch a whole line of merchandise. And the truth of the matter is, I get the impression that that's what this entire thing is for.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
this third presenter, their American correspondent, they call her. So who is this? Christina Ariel. And she's the one, even though this woman is pushing 40, she runs around like a 12-year-old and speaks to us as well, like we're like 6 or 7. So I'm not sure that she's been briefed on who this is for. I don't know. I don't want to be sort of gatekeeper-ish about this. I agree with you. I'd be surprised if this woman has seen that much Doctor Who at all. But she does seem enthusiastic to see the various props. I think, it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It moves so quickly and speaks so in such a mainstream way. I think as to not to offend, but to not to actually say anything of any consequence whatsoever.
Yeah. The problem is, so much of this was over like everything's good, everything's brilliant, everything's the best, and it's like when you have that for your whole show, it comes across inauthentic to people. When you've got that woman oohing and ahhing over a unique top, which is literally a black top with unique put somewhere on it, like that's the amount of design that went into that bit of merchandise, and she stood by it gushing over this thing. It's like, don't have a gush over product which clearly does not look good enough to warrant that reaction. If she was doing that next to like that top at least has got a bit of artistic idea with it. It's got the angels, it's got a bit of something going on. But she was doing it about everything. And it's like, love, I don't buy you because you can't love everything the same way. That's not how humans work. And it was just
Well, I got the impression that all of that, and they kept going back to the merchandise, to the point where I felt like I was watching. Do you remember the shopping channel? I don't know whether those things still exist in the way they used to. But that's what it reminded me of. And I've got nothing against that brand of television, but at least that brand of television is honest about what it is. And I'm not sure that the Huniverse show is being entirely honest about what it is, what it's for, and what they're hoping to promote from the audience. They're leaning into community, but they're looking to create customers. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I just wish they'd own it, you know?
Yeah, it took me. Sorry, Charlotte. It took me back to the first Bridget Jones's Diary movie when Bridget's mum has a bit of a midlife crisis and goes to work on the shopping channel. Where you're absolutely right. It seems like a bit of a cynical marketing ploy. Dare I say it?
Is there any other kind of marketing ploy?
Well, obviously not. No.
No, I felt like I was being sold to.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's the vibe I got in big chunks of this.
I appreciate ideas like this. Prop of the month. So they're claiming they're going to be doing this every month. I suspect they won't. But the idea of something as sort of cheap and cheerful as putting a cloth over something that's some strange shape, and then they have to pretend that they don't know what's under there. I don't know. Maybe one of them. I think one of them must have done. But again, all part of the fun. This is the kind of thing that we do. So fair enough. This is all well and good, but they don't hang around with that. They don't get a studio audience in. It's just the two of them.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's okay, but it means that it feels phony, and it means that they've also got to work that bit harder to sell us on the whole thing, which I believe is slightly unfair on them, because I think they're two very naturalistic people who are being put in a situation where they can't behave in a naturalistic way, and I think that's a pity.
It's almost like they've been kidnapped and put in a room and been told, right, you're not allowed out until you've read this auto cue.
Let's be fair. This is the first show. They may refine this, Gary.
Yes, I was just going to say, you're right, Dan. We got to, try to give grace here. But then on the flip side of that would be, you'd think that they want to start off as strong as they possibly can in order to hook people in for subsequent episodes, So there's two different sides to that argument. But for this picture, this is one of the things I think is kind of wrong, at least with this first effort. This is nothing against Crystal or the other guy. They're basically performers here. But just looking at this set, if you take the two of them out of this picture, this to me looks like they decided to actually commission and do this show like at 4 p.m, and they had to start filming at 4:30.
Yeah.
And it's like, what can we throw together in the next 29 minutes that's going to look like a set? We got this couch, here we got some stuff we can throw up on the walls. This is the set doesn't really scream, like there was a lot of thought behind this, that this was just kind of thrown together as fast as they could. The two of them come in and sit down. As somebody said before, it looks like, given the script at the last minute. But Dan, you're exactly right with the home shopping thing. It looks like they're, you want to see like a phone number at the bottom where you can call in and where you can call in. We only have 10 Cybermen pillows. They're going fast, so call in. That's kind of what this looks like.
No, and here's the thing. I hope that if they do more, there's certain ideas which I think if that gets more development could be fun, like the episode spotlight thing. Because, no, listen.
Wait.
The idea of picking an episode, because I think that happens a lot with Doctor Who now because of how much material there is out there. You've got all the classic run, you've got all the modern run. You've got things that aren't series finales, that aren't first Doctor episodes, and they do sort of get forgotten. I think that happens a lot with Doctor Who. So actually to say, right, we're just going to talk about one story, but here's my problem. Good idea, but it's not done for long enough. You blink and you miss it. The way they do it, it's such a fast delivery. It's such a we'll quickly say 5 things about this episode we like.
Well, even this moved on really, really quickly. I mean, Philip Roy has comment of the night here in the live chat on YouTube. They're definitely touching Clive.
Very good, Philip.
In more ways than one. But they move on from that pretty quickly. And somebody has asked in the live chat, what is it underneath there? You're going to have to watch the show. We had to, so you've got to suffer as well. Go and watch the Huniverse show, and you'll find out what is under the cloth there. But Charlotte's quite right. They did focus at least on a classic series episode, and it's Terror of the Zygons again. So that tying in, I suppose, to the live stream coming this Saturday as of time of recording. And when I saw they were going to be doing that, I thought, oh, and I sat up and paid attention. what are they going to have to say about this incredible story, specifically hitting its 50th anniversary, both Tyrell and Crystal. Turns out not that much at all, really, apart from telling us where we could see it.
Oh, and that there was kilts in the episode.
The thing
And
is,
Scottish.
what made me laugh was the fact that, well, name 5 things you like about this story, and almost a look of panic came over Tyrell's face, and it was sort of
Sarah
like
Jane. Is it Sarah Jane?
It's Sarah Jane and Tom Baker. Well, actually, no, it's Sarah Jane, Harry, and the Fourth Doctor. Don't miss out Harry, please. And kilts, and it's Scottish, very, very Scottish. I just thought, for goodness sake, please look. Could somebody have just written something on a cue card or an auto cue, and just have him read off it, please? Because people are going to come to the show, and the presenters and watch it. But the presenters are the ones who are meant to have the knowledge and the authority about what they're talking about, and it just looks bad.
Fan shows like this. It's always a trap for the presenters, because there's always plenty of opportunities for them to betray the limit of their knowledge about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, if they only have a limited knowledge, that comes screaming through. And
but Gary, on the flip side of it is, and we've had that on this show, specifically, Shah was, how many times has Shah been on the show and we've said, oh, you're just watching that one. Oh, wait, when we want to know what her reactions are to discovering the show. So in a sense, if Tyrell doesn't know much about classic Doctor Who, or whenever he can, then part of the joy could be in him watching it for the first time. He does front a show called New to Who on the BBC YouTube channel, and fronts it very winningly, I have to say. But by putting him in this, I think this doesn't quite ring true. I mean, it is quite, I suppose it's charming to see people sort of trying to say 5 things about something, but when everybody loves that story, you just want a bit more. And so I was no closer to being able to identify who the target audience was for this after I'd watched the whole thing than I was when I hit play.
If I was the producer of this show, especially since this is the first show, assuming they want it to go on, if I was the producer of this, everything would have been targeted for, putting your best foot forward and getting people to want to watch the next time, not giving them any reason to say, no, this just isn't whatever. It just, like you said, if he does that other new to Who on YouTube, I would have said, okay, what was one of the stories that you personally really liked that you did on that channel? Let's redo it here. Because if you're doing the 5 greatest things about Terror of the Zygons, and the only thing you can say is that it features monsters called the Zygons, and it's a fourth Doctor story, and it's in Scotland, it's like, okay, so great, you can use Wikipedia, fine.
There would have been no harm in actually taking a bit more time.
Exactly.
How long is that portion of the show? 4 minutes? There'd have been no harm at all in having the two of them have a proper conversation about that for at least 10 minutes. I would have suggested they could splice in clips, do the things that we can't do, splice in some clips, have a real conversation, and let us see who they both really are. But as it turns out, it's kind of another sales pitch for the iPlayer and for the Huniverse Hub, which again is fine. I don't expect an official piece of programming not to do that, but it's the fact that they go to such lengths to make it seem like that's not what they're doing. I find it all very, very odd. It's only half an hour of your life, and we don't know how many of these they're actually going to make. So I don't feel like I've sort of wasted that half an hour of my life. There's far worse things associated with the brand quite recently too. But it does feel like a little somewhat of a backward step for the brand.
It was a half an hour, but it felt like 6.
It just seems very confused. Like it doesn't really have an identity, and they're not sure what identity it should have.
Also, I thought really, really very quickly, I thought structure-wise, and this is the producer's fault, if those two are going to be, if Crystal and is it Terrell are going to be the host, co-host, the first half of the show or the first 20 minutes, there should have been them to start it off. To start it off with that person at Comic-Con was a huge area. You want to start off with your regulars, get to know them, and then stick the special thing at the end. I don't know why they did it like they did.
Yeah, because you think, okay, so who's this and who's this? Oh, and who's this now? It's hard to get to know 3 people. When you could get to know 2 a lot easier. Charlotte.
Yeah, like Gary's idea there would have worked brilliantly. Have a conversation. Say, right, who's your favourite Doctor? Who's your favourite companion? Like have them just talk about what to them actually is like the things they love about the show.
Right.
Because, for example, I didn't really watch a lot of that fan show, so I don't know Crystal that well. And I think a lot of people probably coming to this will be quite fresh. They won't know these presenters. So to get a bit of an insight as to their Doctor Who history would have been lovely. I think it would have really got this slightly more personal edge. And it would have, I think that's the problem. It just felt like a product, the whole thing. And with these kind of shows, you sort of need to almost disguise that as much as you can. And by having
I think they've tried.
Yeah, they've tried, but they just, whenever they
buy our
started...
t-shirts.
Yeah, whenever they started to talk about something that wasn't product related, like I said, by the end they had to add on, oh, you can buy this, you can do this.
And they couldn't really mention the elephant in the room, any of them. This problem and this problem. You know, the brand is a multitude of problems right now, and they can't allude to any of that. It's just, as you say, buy our shit. I mean, none of this is sour grapes on my part. I didn't think this was the worst thing in the world at all. I think it's probably important that Doctor Who have a show like this. I just feel that I was watching the pilot for something. I also suspect they may have been, and why wouldn't they? I think they may have been watching us, because the very last portion of it, they move over to some fan art and some cosplay and digital and traditional art and crafting. It's all there. Jesus. I don't know. This bit
that
in particular
was. I thought that's
familiar.
Luke, right, in the picture.
Yeah.
That's you, right?
Absolutely.
I thought so. Okay.
Dugga-doo.
Why would you finish off with fan art? You know, we've been doing that for years on this show. The fan show never did that. So is it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing patterns in things that aren't there. And you know, imitation is the highest form of flattery and all that. I wish them well with this. I hope they persevere. I hope they stick to some sort of pattern and that it settles down. But ideally do it when the show's on. I mean, what do you think, Luke? Is there sense in having this run when the series isn't on, to try and keep it in the public eye, because YouTube is so widely watched now?
I was waiting for this. It was fine. Like, it was meh. I think, I pretty much agree. Look, I know they did, I think in season 1, sorry, not series 1, otherwise, they did the Doctor Who podcast, and that went down like a lead balloon. This one is, by default, infinitely better, because you've got 2 hosts that know Doctor Who. So, and I know Crystal D has been around Doctor Who the community for a long time, and she has a big TikTok following as well. The other fella, I know he pops up all the time. I can't remember, Terrell, sorry. You can see he has enthusiasm for the show as well. And,
I like it.
They come across better than the previous hosts did when they did the Doctor Who podcast, and they were just getting random influencers on, and it was a bit of a mess. I thought Sorry, got a bit of a cough there. Yeah, I thought the format was a little bit. Sorry, I'm just literally talking work now. Yeah, I thought the format was a little bit off. Yeah, I pretty much agree with Gary. I think it needs to define what audience niche is going for. It's been spread a bit too thin now. I thought there's a couple of editing mistakes in the start as well when they're looking at the wrong camera and they've cut.
Yeah,
they're both looking down the wide, and then it cuts to the close-ups, and they're both still looking down the wide. So that's yeah, it just feels like it's fine. It just needs to define what it is going for. Is it going to be one of those like magazine shows like this, or is it going to be like more like, oh look, there's some merch and this thing, and there's a guest that is a bit more talk showy? Yeah, it just felt not rushed, but it just. Yeah, it did. Let's chuck everything at a wall, see what sticks, and then we'll kind of maneuver from there and pivot. Yeah, it just. But you know, it was fine. It was. I've watched a lot worse on YouTube, so I was like, it's for a BBC product. It was a little bit disappointing, but at least we have guests that can talk about the show and not make like massive statements about it or untrue things about it, and you're like, yeah, okay, cool, you can buy into them, it. But yeah, it was just, yeah, I skimmed it. Like I couldn't watch bits of it. I can't believe she's how old's the American girl? 40. Like fair play, Jesus.
She looks great, but yeah, I don't think anybody's briefed her about who the fan base actually are. So she aims it at the Sesame Street audience.
Yeah, it just needs to really define what audience it is as well. And I think obviously they're going to be positive about Doctor Who because it is a Doctor Who.
I'm going to write my secret message. It's like,
it would be nice if it could be a bit more diplomatic. The BBC's got to be impartial. Those are in the rules. We know that. So it would be nice if it could be a bit more diplomatic with it and be like, look, and talk about things. But yeah, it was very cool. That was a first run. That was definitely a first run. Let's see what worked, what didn't.
I wish them well with it.
Absolutely.
And obviously that's what we've got to say. We've all got our very particular wants of something like this. The people watching in the live chat on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X, they're the real punters. They're the real litmus test for something like this. The genuine fans. Let's go and see what they've got to say.
Welcome to Type 40. Was that good enough? I hope so. Or exterminate.
Yes, the fan base has been unblocked by the BBC, it seems. They want us back again in one form or another. Crimpling the Balloon asks, is this show specifically designed for those three fans from Lux? Maybe they use them as test subjects, Gary.
Yes. Well, and I just thought of something. Not that I'm a fan of prolonging the agony because I was critical of that first segment, but what I would have done instead of just doing like 15 minutes with that lady at Comic-Con, if this is going to be a regular show, I would have split that up into like little 4 to 5 minute blocks and like segments of those over like 4 or 5 episodes as like a regular feature instead of jumbling it all in the first 15 minutes of the first show, which is an inexplicable decision. But that's like the kind of thing that you can just kind of chop and parse out as a regular thing for 4 to 5 episodes.
Last time we saw that such and such was at Christina was at Comic-Con. Here's what else she found.
Yeah.
Boom.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Keep going back to it as a sort of package.
Yep.
Boomer Doug has joined us in the live chat, and he confesses, I hate the trope where the hosts look away. It just looks like a parody where they just miss the correct camera.
If you remember the fast show, they did the jazz club thing, which was with John Thompson, which I absolutely love. They once did a parody of the jazz club on the fast show called Indie Club, and that's exactly how the presenter kept looking away, not onto a camera, and it reminded me instantly of that, and it's very irritating. Very irritating.
This is a very boring trope now, but a lot of editing programs now, as a lot of people out there know, have now like an AI podcast / talk show editor built into it, where one of the tropes is he'll do the opening for like a couple of seconds, like 4 to 5 seconds, then he'll cut to a close-up. Where obviously the host is still looking at the camera. So maybe it was that. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe.
AI could have been used in the making of the Huniverse show.
Oh God, I started something on them.
Oh dear. Cliff Maxwell says it does look thrown together, but I think that's the BBC's outlook on the show right now across the board. They have no clue what to do with it, how to sell it, who likes it, or why. Clueless. Yeah. And whilst, again, I must stress, I think that putting stuff like this out there is largely harmless. It's just when you take a look back at the whole strategy, you think, why? Peter Harrington asks, is this a money laundering scheme of some kind? It wouldn't be for us to say, would it?
We'll look into that.
Tanindra's got a very deep question on the nature of bi-regeneration on a completely different topic. Yeah, we keep that comments on topic here at Type 40 Live. But thank you for joining us. Get stuck into the conversation we're having. What's in the box? Asks PD Rich. That's what we've all been asking for years, isn't it? Hail Harry. Says Dalek El Arabia. I think we're back to Harry Sullivan there. And Cheryl confesses she loves a kilt. What to wear or on a gentleman? Let us know in the live chat. Is it doesn't have to be a fetish? It could just be a preference. There's no judgment here ever. Were they selling knee pads for doctor's knees on the show? Asks Stephen O'Neill. That's a reference, of course, to Paul Shittigata, who was left a physical wreck by his time playing Doctor Who, as we've recently seen. Black Glove Studio suggests that what they are missing is to hire Simon Horton as their historian there. So it's a bold move to get the big guns in and to hire Simon Horton. You know, I'm not sure what Simon would make of that. I think it could be a tougher sell to Simon than it could be to them.
Dan, I need to mention the sort of elephant in the room here. Can we just fucking get rid of the Kablam man? Fuck's sake! Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
honestly,
it's
really
getting old. It's definitely getting old.
Come on.
We've got thank you for that one, Chris Black Glove. We'll make sure we pass that on to Simon. I'm sure he'll find it amusing. Shall we say amusing? I'm surprised they haven't made a white T-shirt with "Choose Who" written on it. It's a big reference to Frankie Goes to Hollywood, of course, wasn't it?
You know what I just thought? Here's the thing for Simon. Simon is so Simon is so talented. I mean, obviously he's just the king of Doctor Who history, like knowledge and everything. Yeah. But he's also, as we all know, very musically gifted. I think what they should do, the Huniverse should hire Simon as like their music guy. It's like off in the corner. He's like the music guy, like on the talk shows and stuff, to where they scan over to him and he's there with his keyboard and stuff, just like doing music during the show and everything, and they can banter with him. That would be awesome.
Sort of a Richard Stilgo type person.
So just have him in the corner, have him on the corner with his with his keyboard, and if they say something funny, he can do like a little on the show. He can provide little accompaniment like that. That's so they suggest that to him, Dan.
They could cut from that, say so, and over to Simon, it kicks in.
The set with that, I'll watch this show any day of the week.
You know what would be even funnier? It would never happen. If you could have Simon playing his music and then he gives them like a deadpan sarcastic look.
Anytime they say something, cut to Simon with just this flat expression.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he'd be wonderful. He would be wonderful. Just sort of like, no, that was a load of rubbish. No,
and if they say something inaccurate about like a classic story, cut to Simon just going, sorry, that's wrong.
Chris suggests that the show Doctor Who needs right now is
Yes.
Doctor Who. I couldn't agree more. If they focused on that a bit harder rather than on satellite products and expanded media, I think we might get somewhere a bit quicker. Bring on the meteorite, please, Matthew Bennett.
Bit dramatic.
Oh God! And Rose, yes, says, doesn't anybody remember The Talking Dead? The show was usually on after an episode of The Walking Dead, and the BBC used to do a brilliant after show to 24 when they brought that to Britain, and before Sky stole it off them. Sky would always steal their hits. They had a fantastic after show to 24, hosted by Claudia Winkleman, now of Strictly Come Dancing, and the that one where she puts the hood on.
Oh,
it's
the
called
Traitors.
The Traitors.
Traitors.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Traitors.
She used to do that. She used to do a 24 after show, and it was brilliant.
Wow,
But
never
because
heard of that.
because the BBC hadn't made 24, they could rip the piss out of it and do the kind of stuff that we do. So it was great. The BBC used to make quality stuff like that. They really did. Mark Milford reminds us of some of the other short-lived after shows. Big Brother After Dark, Untucked, which is that sounds. I don't think I want to see that.
Sounds like something David would do. Jesus.
There we
Why
are.
have you not? Don't untuck myself.
Praise
loose.
appreciated but redacted, Cheryl. Thank you for being so sweet. And people criticizing various incarnations of things that have gone before as well. Meh, says Richard Brooks. He's got that stuck in his throat. Yeah, people aren't very impressed. I can see why. There's nothing too scathing, to be fair, but this isn't what people want either, or certainly not in this form. So I can only hope that if they are going to persevere, then they will perhaps talk to people like Cheryl, like Richard, like Kieran, like Donnie, like Peter. Send out some of those circular emails that they used to and ask people what they thought of it, and maybe you'll get some unbiased, genuine feedback, because there is a place for a show like this. They should never have stopped the fan show, but then again, they should never have stopped Doctor Who Confidential. They should never have stopped. It's just a list of lots of things that a certain dickhead stopped simply because they weren't his creations. Right, Chris? Yeah. Yes, we've got Kieran is in the live chat. Thank you, Kieran, for your interest and interaction. Bin it and give their wages to the NHS, suggests Dalek. Got some pretty creative replies here. And Funky says, I just thought how it could have been worse. Imagine if they got the three actors who played the fans in Lux to host it. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be too nasty about them. Again, it was a gig. I don't blame them for taking the money. I blame Russell for writing the thing in the first place, frankly. And we've got lots more of the same. Bin it and give the wages to me, says Richard Brooks. So he wants to try out for that. Yeah, I don't know. I see why they've gone for them. I just think they should sort of expand it a little. Think a little bigger. It doesn't need to cost much money. Just think a little bigger about the conversations that they could have and the things they can do that we can't stop pretending to be the fans. That's no slight on either Crystal or Terrell. I'm sure that they are fans of what in the version of the fan that we all are. No judgment, no gatekeeping at all. But they're not the fan base. You are. We are. It's not how it works, BBC. It's not how it works. Boom Shakalaka says Donnie, which is the most sensible thing I've heard all night. And
I do have to go because it is 10.
Yes. Okay. So, what's your final thoughts on this one, Charlotte? I mean, are you going to block the BBC for this, or what do you think?
No, I'm very much in your sort of thought of this is clearly a first run. They clearly don't have a clue about the audience or who they're aiming. That's probably the better way to put it for. Yeah. And they just need to workshop this more. They need to have some more sort of conversations away from it. And also the other thing is, what can make it unique? What can make this show stand out than any of the other stuff that's out there currently for Doctor Who that the fans are doing? So that's also, I think, something that once they've got a more stable idea, then they can start to think, right, how are we going to stand out? So I hope it gets better. Right now, I think it's like this sort of first try in every sense sort of feel with this first
Yeah.
one. But it's been lovely to have the chat and everybody. So I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week, Charlotte.
I think you've let them off very, very lightly, Charlotte. But you are a generous and caring soul. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Yeah, people in the live chat, not so kind, but I do get it. I do get it.
People in the chat do like my idea. Do you like my idea of having Simon in the corner in some capacity? That's gone over well in the chat.
He should be the Richard Stilgo of that program.
Funky asks, we could get a crossover show between them and us. That could be a laugh. I think it could be a tough sell. It could be a tough sell. Huniverse is more the Whoniverse, says Doug. I did the dad jokes, Doug. Nice one, mate. Thank you. Do you think they'll ever have a program called After Who to talk about the latest episode? I think that's kind of what that podcast was meant to be for.
Yeah,
the one that Crystal was on it for a little while, and so was Dawson and a couple of other, like you said, Luke. I think they were influencers, which doesn't mean they were bad people, but I did get the impression that a couple of them were kind of a little bit vacant. They weren't really there either for the. I don't know. Again, it's like this. It kind of worked, but didn't work. And so, why dance from idea and concept to idea and concept? Stick with the one thing and just persevere with it for longer than 6 months. You might be onto something there. An after show might be a good idea, but not like this. And not like that either. That was terrible, that podcast, particularly the first version of it with Juno friggin' Dawson. But the second one wasn't really any better. So,
look, I know it's radio, but and I know it's only ever been student and community radio that I've done because one, I'm not that good enough to do proper, and I'm not sad enough to do BBC local radio. So there's two other things. But the thing is, when you're trying to bring a new show, a new concept to the airwaves, you've got to sort of have about I would say a month worth of at least 4 or 5 dry runs to find out and then listen back to it and
That's
be
scary.
really. Wow. And then be ruthless with what works and what doesn't work. You have to find a sort of structure as to actually, if we change this, I like what Gary was saying, if we change this, we need to swap this, we need to do that, that feature's too long, that needs chopping down. Is this the right thing to do here? Is that the right thing to do there? And essentially, if it all else fails, play 2 records back to back. But what you want to do is that whenever you open your microphone, you want to be adding value and you want to be giving an input into whether it be a joke, whether it be funny or not, whether it be a competition, whether it be a phone guest, whether it be something else, but it should have that structure. And even the one show works, but it got off to a bit of a bad start. But the thing is, at least the one show has a sort of like structure. They go from the ridiculous to the serious, but you expect that from that program now. This program didn't feel like it had a structure, and it was a bit all over the shop. And there were, as Lucas said, there were a few mistakes. Some features were too long, as Gary said, and it just seems like they should go back to, and I hope they are, go back to
But David, I think that, to be fair to them, if it was too polished, then it would feel even less authentic and even more phony.
Yeah, I think there is that, but I do think you have to have some polish. But it's
a tough balance to strike.
Yeah, it just felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. A bit like the main show at the moment. Yeah. It just doesn't seem to have. It didn't seem to have a direction, and that's was the thing that I was screaming out when watching it. It's sort of like, this is too long, or this is,
and yet it was only half an hour. Yeah,
yeah. The piece from the convention. This is too long. This presenter is too hyped. This segment doesn't make sense.
I'm very conscious, David, of the fact that we've been talking about the Huniverse show for longer than the Huniverse show was actually on.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, all of us here. Matty Carr is watching over on X and says, hey, Matty, good to have you with us. What channel was this on? It's on the YouTube channel, on the BBC's Doctor Who YouTube channel. It's called the Huniverse Show. Go and check it out, and by all means, tell them that Type 40 sent you. That would be fun. We've got a comment here. We've got a quote. I do apologise, from Luke Spillane, which kind of could address some of the things that you've been voicing there, David. Luke Spillane is the head of digital fandom.
Oh,
fucking hell!
Really? Nice. Really? Seriously?
Nice one, Luke. If you can clinch a job with the title of head of digital fandom, fair play. Okay, so Luke,
great job,
Kinchansa. Luke, who I'm sure is a nice guy, says the Huniverse show is a celebration of everything we love about Doctor Who, a show made by fans for fans. Whether you've been watching forever or just stepped aboard the TARDIS, this show is your front row seat to the heart of the fandom. Luke, what are you saying? Expect surprises, special guests, I wonder who he means, and a whole lot of Who. So what this can do that Doctor Who Unleashed hasn't done, I suppose I see why. But what its place in the Huniverse broadly is, heaven only knows. I'm not sure that this is going to stick. I'd be amazed if there's another one next month, but sincerely, I wish everybody involved with the Huniverse show sincerely the best of luck. I think you're going to need it. What's your final word, Gary, on that?
Well, if they are having special guests and you happen to put up the RTD photo, I mean, if they do, instead of him spouting his usual blather, I would do something like making it interesting to see is do a remote outside thing and have him like in a dunk tank or something. And then, they can ask him questions while they're throwing balls. And if he does his usual blather, into the dunk tank. See, that I would watch.
Everyone.
Like the dunking stool that they used to put women on it to see if they were awake.
Yeah, at carnivals.
The ducking stool.
It turns out that everyone does have a cruel side after all, even Gary Akers.
Dan, you don't have an inkling of the cruel things I could come up with for this guy. You have no idea.
Oh dear. Good luck to everybody on that show. I mean, I'll just keep watching, Luke, for when they do drop the next one. I mean, they claim it's going to be monthly. Maybe they're going to keep it running till the end of the year. Get the Christmas season coming up. That season 13 box set, we know that Cheryl's chomping at the bit for. A lot of us are. Maybe do a bit more publicity around that, and maybe the Christmas jumpers. You're a mark for one of those. We know that.
You called me a mark of wrestling, Tim. Go on, Dan.
Well, they did advertise. They did advertise one of the merch that Luke said he's going to buy, which is that jumper with all of the video things on it. Luke, you said you were going to buy that. You said you were going to buy that jacket.
One day, I'll
come one day.
Wearing it, and you will be.
It will be mine.
You will be in awe of it, okay?
Are you in awe of the Huniverse show on the official BBC Doctor Who YouTube channel? Let us know. Let them know if you have to, but I think you should let us know first in the comments section there. They're keeping tight-lipped about how frequently they're going to publish a new episode of this. I hope it's not Christmas, just to shift the next lot of merch. In the meantime, go and find it on the YouTube channel and drop them a comment and let them know where they might be going wrong. We'll follow its progress over the next however long, and let's see how it goes for them with their own fan show.
Perfect. Just the person I need to see. Firstly, loving the outfit, by the way. Really suits your hair. Secondly, the universe is falling apart. I don't have much time today. I need to shoot off. I need to do something. But by all means, this is imperative. Watch Type 40. Type 40 podcast is where you need to be. Seguida!
It's bye. Yeah, she says bye, but we say hello as we slip off. You can catch up with us on Instagram and X at Type 40 Doctor Who. That's our socials, our go-to socials. It's people in the live chat who are finding us for the very first time on this edition of the show. Connect with us there on Instagram or X. Alternatively, get stuck in the Type 40 Facebook group. That's our long-standing community of Doctor Who fans from throughout the generations. They're real fans talking to other real fans rather than trying to flog them t-shirts and things like that, and actual opinions on classic stories and new stories. So get stuck in over there, or you can leave us some feedback of your own, some more comments, some questions, some queries or predictions over at SpeakPipe. The link to that is in the description to this edition of the show. So much Doctor Who, so little time and space, even for us. There's more coming. Of course there is, when we return to our regular pattern over the following weeks with returning panelists and plenty of treats lined up. In the meantime, delve into our playlists there, past editions of all the shows, including Type 40 Live. So there's our deep dive on past Blu-ray box sets, our regular early editions of the show from earlier in the week, and our sort of signature deep dives there where we celebrate key figures in Doctor Who. They could be from in front of the camera, Doctor's companions, monsters, or they could be from behind the camera or in the writer's room, like our special that celebrated the career, the contribution of Graham Harper last year. Lots to get stuck into and to replay over there in the playlist. So yeah, knock yourselves out. That's when you get back from Hooverville, of course. That's this weekend, Saturday, all day Saturday, over at Quad in Derby with the fabulous Hoovers, all their guests, and a positive army of Doctor Who fans there too, all celebrating and connecting the way that we can and should. Oh, it could be you have a more relaxed weekend planned there at the beach, sipping away at something in the cool late summer sun. I think any of those would work for me. You know, David?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see Lincoln versus Mansfield with my son.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
football, Dan.
Okay, that's the big one. That's the bigger ball.
That's the bigger round ball. Yeah, and then the good lady and I are going to see Roses after that. So
I'll for Shooty Gatwa?
Yeah, I'll go and no, because we love Olivia Colman, and we'll give you an update as to whether or not he needs a stretcher or not, or is walking with or is on a mobility scooter because he's that old and decrepit.
The poor lamb. Yeah, we've been worried sick about him, Gary. I know you have as well. You look beside yourself still, so yeah.
Yeah, every day I'm concerned with his knees. You know, that every time I see that picture of him leaping off the table, I just am praying he doesn't hurt himself.
Yeah. I thought you said with his needs for a minute. I think
knees. I'm actually wondering, in this picture, is that like a sea devil that's coming out of the water there behind him?
You know what? If that's a British beach, it's probably a jobby. I won't inspect it too closely. Bottoms up quite literally. We've got some great comments here in the live chat, as always. Hopefully watching Lactics.
Oh, Oldham, yes.
County in League One. Stephen O'Neill, I haven't got the faintest idea what you're talking about, pal.
Who are the Lactics? Wigan, aren't they? Or Oldham?
The
I always get confused.
The Lactics? Or Lactics?
Wigan. Oh, the pie eaters. Yes, Wigan.
It's too close to lactating for me. But
yeah, the pie eaters.
You know what I've just realized? This show needs an after show. There needs to be a Type 40 after show.
Yeah.
Could you stand that? We could type 41. We could type 41 a.m.
There you go.
Thank you to the Zero Room for joining us for this one. Lots of you, in fact. It's great to see you there in the live chat as well, Philip Roy. Let's catch up soon, mate. Doc Martin is here on YouTube as well, reminding us to catch up with the Mid-Journey, their AI tribute to spare parts back up on YouTube, worth a watch. Well, a friend of the show, Doctor Who and the Mid-Journey, hopefully MJ will be back on sooner rather than later to tell us about all of his various projects. So if you are connected with him, say, yes, we can't wait to have you back on Type 40. Who else is here? Lots of people joining us late in the day. Count Scarleone asks, where's Mr. Wayner? Where do you think he's a core customer, our Anthony?
He'll be doing a jobby.
But Anthony will be back soon. He has guaranteed he's on manoeuvres elsewhere on a top secret mission for the Time Lords. It wouldn't surprise me. And when he gets back, I suspect, well, he's going to tell us all about it, whether he wants to or not. We have ways of making them talk, Count. So, yes, stay tuned. We'll catch up with the fabulous Anthony Wayner, Simon Horton, Sarah Graham, and everybody else who's going to come back over the next few weeks. We've got some good nights. We've got some thank yous. We've got Tomkins of what? Okay, I'm lost. This is more sporting talk, isn't it? I'll leave you to
no idea. I've no idea.
Get stuck into that. Shrewsbury Town for Funky. Looks like they're going down another league this year.
Yes.
Notice how I try to convey that I try to convey the idea that I do know what I'm talking about. I'm going to fuck it.
That's good. They've got an ex-Lincolnshire manager called Michael Appleton, who used to be at Man United as well, Luke, as a sort of player.
Peter Harrington suggests Type 40 Loud and Unleashed. That would have to be the show that was hosted by Matt Pott. I think we could get into that. Bless his heart.
This is all coming together faster than I'd hoped.
It's happening. It's happening. We've got this show needs an after shower. Filth, says Philip Roy. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And we've got greetings from San Francisco, the Timescales, who's just dropped in. As well. Lots of tips for telly that people can catch up with over the weekend. And yeah, I'm sure there's lots more besides too. There's a veritable abundance of choice for every Doctor Who fan out there. And you can even watch the Huniverse show again if you wish.
Yes.
Head back here to Type 40 Live as always next time, where all of us and another assortment of ne'er-do-wells will be reconnecting to catch you up on what's been on our minds over the summer, as well as celebrate here and there the way that Doctor Who fans will always find the space to do. Gary, thank you again for your company, mate. Always good to catch you up. And I knew you'd have some fun with the Huniverse show. The fact that you are still smiling after I put you through that's going to be a good thing. That's real friendship.
Wait, I'll be sending you the bill later. for my therapy.
Thank you, mate. Luke has made it through another show without a costume change.
No, I know. And but anyone at Hooverville Hooligans is playing there. And because it is...
Yes.
Because it is Hooverville, that means Pop World.
Oh, God.
I'm £1.50 drinks in Pop World for me tomorrow night. You wait till the story's on the next podcast. But yes, Hooligans are screwed in. All the cast and crew of Hooligans are there. So if you're there, come see us. If not, you'll probably find me hanging out of my derriere on the nearest sofa because of the £1.50 drinks in Pop World. Come say hello.
Looks like Lady of Traken is going to be there as well. At Hooverville over the weekend at Quad. Go and say hi. So that's Lady of Traken from the Big Blue Box. Our friends on the Big Blue Box podcast there. So several of your panelists have been on the show. Hopefully they're going to come back between now and Christmas. That would be great. So go and connect with Lady of Traken as well. Thank you, Phil. I don't know what Phil's up to the weekend. I think it's probably best we don't know. He's probably knee-deep in editing or
Yes.
or an allotment somewhere. I think he's sorting out his route of edge. Wouldn't surprise me. That's all. Okay, so yes, where else, David? You're off enjoying. You have told me what you're doing at the weekend. It sounds deplorable. I couldn't possibly say that I approve. Signal my approval, but I hope you enjoy yourself anyway, mate.
Thank you so much. It's much wonderful time with my son, who we enjoy watching football. We've been watching. Sadly, we've been watching Lincoln City since he was 4, and now he's approaching 17. And I've been watching it for 40 years, so it is deplorable. But it's also his other team are Man United. So
I was going to say it could be worse.
Yeah, it's obviously a big rival of Lincoln is Grimsby Town. However, nobody begrudges Grimsby Town their wonderful win against Man United last night. And Lincoln have drawn Chelsea in the 3rd round of the League Cup at Sinsel Bank, which is wonderful for the coffers of the football club. And I think about 30 seconds after the tie was announced, they were already on all the socials plugging the exec boxes and the commercial opportunities for the club. That BBC is proper commercial.
I'm going to need I'm going to need translation of all of that.
No idea what you're talking about.
Didn't understand the bleeding word of it, but yes, thank you, David. Have a brilliant time.
Pleasure. Lovely to see you all.
As for the rest of you, don't forget to head back here to Type 40 Live next week and check out all the podcasts and the videos as well here on the channel. We'll be back with more news, views, rants and raves, a generous dollop of nostalgia as always, and a real celebration of real fandom that we never scrimp on here at Type 40 Live. But that's it for another show. We always have the time if you have the space here at Type 40 Live. Whatever you're up to this weekend, keep it clean, keep it legal if you can, if you must, and we'll see you back here in one piece on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.